getting into it, boys. Bullshit. I feel like I can hit those better when it's on the bottom. I'm a power bottom. Homie's booning. Homie's a booner. I just like showing people the ghost. Ooh, that's rough. She's like, one, no, there, child. Oh shit. Oh shit. You are on Death Hook. You're on Death Hook. Just remember that. Never forget. Oh god! this loot box, though. Oh god. Oh my god, dude. Whoop, scoops. Scoops, whoops. Oh my god, dude. That was insane. Oh no. Do you think that they're still on me? And also, do you think I will go down due to needing to mend? Oh god. Sure. Oh, forgot about that bit. It's been a crazy game so far. Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! She mind gamed herself. It was so worth it for her to miss that last feral frenzy. Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm dying, literally. Her killing me in the game is killing me literally. I'm literally dying. Was that Iron Will? A Calm Spirit? Calm Spirit. This person is definitely the best one on their squad. What is this build? Lightweight fixated. Wow, I wonder if... I don't know this last perk. Oh, it's the new one. That's really interesting. Walking, you have 20% haste, scratch marks. See, that is the best part about fixated. I always forget about that part because I'm like, you can see your scratch marks, whatever. But while walking, see, that's huge. I should be running that with sprint burst instead of some of the other stuff I run. I usually run vigil, so I get it back really quick, which is great, honestly. It's actually, I mean, it's a great build, but. Decent map for Legion. It was a decent map for Legion. That is for sure. That is for sure. That is for sure. You know what that is? That's for sure. It's for sure. And that's for sure. That's for sure. Where we at time-wise? I could do a few more. Actually do have fixated. And you know what? Honestly, now that adrenaline doesn't heal you off hook, it's kind of not exactly as good as it used to be for me, because I'm almost always on a hook when the last generator gets done. So I don't know that it's fair for me. for me to have to deal with that, though. You know what? Fuck it. Let's try drama. I don't think I've run it. I don't think I've run it yet, and I'm very interested to try this. Fixated wouldn't work though for that. I could go back to Adren. What else is like? Well, this I should probably run Vigil for. I love Vigil, and that would let me use this more frequently. This would be especially funny to use for this event because I could replace my ghost flashlight with something. That could be good. I could. I could go into the that's the thing I was gonna say is I could go into the ghost realm and just use it. If I know I've gotten the haste recently, I could just use it just to pop one and just see what happens. If I scream, it'll be a very weird, misleading scream for a killer who when I'm not in. They'll hear a scream and they'll look around and they'll be like, oh yeah, it's somebody who's in the ghost realm. And if it pulls them in there, honestly, it seems like a lot of people aren't using the event stuff, aren't interacting with the event stuff at all, because I guess it slows down the game. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it's awesome. I think it's huge. I think it's great, but feels like it's not that popular. I feel like I hardly see anybody using the ghost realm. Although when I play Survivor, I don't know when people are going in there, and on Killer, I feel like I definitely see a fair number of people using it, because I know when they're all going in. I know when it's happening. So. There's a giant dog back there. She's asleep though. Giant sleeping dog. A sleeping giant, as they say. I have a lot of arcane dowsing rods to use up with Trevor, so that's why I've been using him so much. What do I have to do to activate Dramaturgy? Do I have to be healthy? Oh, I reckon I do. Come on. Not a good look for Trevor Belmont as he takes his first hook of the night in this game, wherein he tried to jump a ledge on the bar in the Dead Dog Saloon main building, and it did not work out for him. It was a absolute travesty, and it did not go well. So I didn't realize Dramaturgy had to be used while at full health. And so that's a big part of the reason why I'm having an issue. I'm very used to just taking a ton of protection hits. I used to run Medal of Man when it was good a lot. And I love taking a protection hit or two. Oh, God. Bro, if you hide and I don't, you know it doesn't make a difference. Do you know that? Oh, here. It took a long time to get to the hook. Should have to come off. Oh, okay. It was so close. They were going for basement. So, the same effect cannot happen twice. I got the effect where I scream but nothing happens. Oh, God! Oh, shit. And it's a bad idea after bad idea for Trevor Belmont. The Blight makes a huge blunder, and he sails way out of sight. Is he going to catch up with our cursed protagonist? I do not know. It is looking good for Trevor Belmont in this moment. Currently, right now, it's a decent performance. Are we going to see more of the same, or is it going to go south very quickly? You never know. You really... Oh, God. And he does not hear the Blight approaching. Blight is coming straight at his dome piece, and he is having a great time. And he fakes it. Oh, oh. And he goes down. And Trevor Belmont goes down to the ground. We got your boys out here with the flashies, but no flashy save to be found. This is a sad day in the day of Duracell because they're getting a lot of bad use out of their flashlights. Some people may never change their batteries after this, ladies and gentlemen. We are having a good time, and we're just going to hang out for a second. A few messages from our sponsors. Hi, I'm Dan from Dan's Staples Company. You ever wanted to stick something to another thing? And we're back! We had to interrupt that commercial interruption because we are back into the action. It's time for a little bit more quick play DBD. They're playing for the big money, the big cash prize that we have on display this event season. Haunted by Daylight. If you actually play enough Haunted by Daylight, you will need lifetime therapy subscriptions. And so we are giving those out tonight and tonight only. I actually have no prizes. Do not hold me to that. If you clip this, I have no ability to pay out anybody with any kind of therapy. Thank you. Thank you for participating in our... Wow. And the Blight walks right past a group of healing survivors. Are they going to make it out? What is the deal with Airplane Peanuts? All these questions will be answered in only a short amount of time when we find out how long will Trevor Belmont be living in this game. There's a lot of tension on the field. Only 3 survivors left. Trevor Belmont gets about a quarter of a generator done, edging onto a third. And we see that Alucard is being chased by the Blight. Blight, several times now, has not had a Terror Radius, probably Trail of Torment in play, as we do see a yellow highlighted generator that we have noticed several times and never even gave any consideration to what could be causing that. And I believe that is a last hook for Alucard. This game is about to be a 3 versus 2 versus 1. And we see that, yep, the Blight is still looking around for the officer character whose name I cannot recall. Trevor Belmont finishes his generator. With only minutes left on the clock. Does he go? Yes, he does. He goes into the haunted zone. He's feeling frisky and he's ready to take a trisky, as they say. Will the Blight follow him into the void? He'll have to come through that same gate. Is he going to enter? He does. Can we troll him a little bit? Can we troll him in the void? Where do we go? Oh, there are no pallets here. Yes, there is, but... And he whiffs. Oh, and the pallet's done. And another pallet. There's double pallets here, ladies and gentlemen, and he goes down. That is Death Hook for Trevor Belmont. It's a sad day in the day of sportsmanship. Once upon a time, you would know Wiggle, get Hatchy, and that is not the case nowadays. An instant death in the void for Trevor Belmont. After getting, I think, both of the generators that got done, he goes to his own grave. Taken by the entity, an eldritch creature that comes from the dark of night. He lives in the void, and he haunts your dreams and nightmares. Shall we spectate a little bit of the endgame here? What's this character's name? I'm gonna feel really dumb. Sybil. Sybil is making her way to an exit gate. We are experiencing a visual glitch, but she finds the hatch, and she leaps in! That is a victory for the survivors, as far as I'm concerned. And if any other sportscasters out here have any other shit to talk about me saying that's a victory, then you can at me. Send it to my Twitter account. I am Champagne Poppy. GG. Oh, well, everybody's gone. That's too many Gs as well. It's also too many Gs. Oh. They're all gone. GGG. GG. 5 Gs for Trevor Belmont. Do we have time for one more game? I think we do. And we are going to take a halftime. This year's halftime show presented to you by Disney. Ladies and gentlemen, Black Ariel. Still have a shit ton of these to use, so I might as well just stay on them. Dramaturgy is fun, but I think I like my other build better. It's just so inconsistent. Switching back, baby boys. Ladies and gentlemen. You ever have a intense craving for a rockin' protein, vanilla, lactose-free Builder Max protein shake? There's way too many words on here. There's numbers. I'm not sponsored, but I'll take it. I would love to be sponsored by a milk company. If I just could drink milk for a living, I would do it. Ladies and gentlemen, buy this product. I promise you. Results. We don't even need to talk about what kind of results we want. I promise results, though. That's what I can promise you as a customer. For Belmont, going back in with a Will-o'-the-Wisp flashlight. He wants to show friendly... You know what? I do want to switch back to Dramaturgy because... Let's just do it. Let's just have some fun with it. Hold on. Don't ready up on me yet. I want to switch back because I do like that for this, for the event. Because I can show everybody my ghost. I can show everybody my ghost, and then the flashlight's burnt, and then I pop Dramaturgy. Eventually I'll get a random rare item. Trevor Belmont making some last-minute build changes. Who else do we have in the party? We have a shirtless David King, and he's running a toolbox. We have, of course, a new V character, which is running a medkit, and another flashlight Dwight with the party hat horns. What kind of offerings do we have on display for the evening? Arcane dowsing rods from the survivor, arcane dowsing rods from maybe another survivor, maybe the killer. It's hard to tell. And then we have another random offering on play. Of course, this is the Haunted by Daylight loading screen, as it has been currently iterated for this event. It displays the beautiful costumes that have been created just for the Haunted by Daylight event. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to load into another match. It will be a stunning spectacle of sport that we are about to witness, ladies and gentlemen. Loading any second now. There should be some scrolling banner ads coming on your screen covering everything in the next few moments. Just a word from our sponsors. If you don't get so many cookies and ads in the next few seconds, then the software is not working. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have an interruption to the commercial interruption as the game is now starting. We have Trevor Belmont on the Mother's Dwelling, a map that is notorious for its many, many pallets. I think that we have an exciting game ahead. Trevor Belmont doing his normal strategy of walking in a straight line until he finds the killer. He will either get first chase and be tunneled out of the game, or she will think I am insane and ignore me. And yes, we find that Amanda, Pig, very trollable on this map. I will follow her, and I will show her my ghosty. Will she let me boop the snoot? I'm sorry, will she let Trevor Belmont Boop the Snoot. I only want a boop. Ladies and gentlemen, Trevor Belmont going for the boop on the Snoot. This maneuver hasn't been used in many years. Some said it wouldn't work anymore, but I just want to boop that Snoot, ladies and gentlemen. Show her my ghosty. Let's do the mosty. Boop of the Snoot has been achieved. The hidden objective has been accomplished. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a victory. We have won over the pig with our absolute solidarity in the singular goal of booping of Snoots. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a legendary game. We are witnessing history in the making here. Boys and girls, children of all ages, celebrate everything we have seen and everything we accomplish. Yes, chase down that non-Snoot booper, destroy them wherever they appear. Let me find this Dwight. I need to sandbag him. Oh wait, that's the Dwight. I'm not going to sandbag you. I was joking. Trevor Belmont, feeling a little too friendly, tries to show the pig his ghost once again and gets denied. As the pig stealths away, slinking most likely into the void after smashing many pumpkins with her fragile feet. We're going to take a quick commercial break. I am not sponsored whatsoever, so there will be no commercials. However, wishful thinking, maybe one day I will be able to flood your entire screen and possibly infect your computer with viruses. Only a few words. Like casting a spell on your computer, I wish I could give you every commercial that I had available. There's no amount of money I wouldn't accept. Trevor Belmont enters the void. Is it a mistake? Is this a risk too far? Will he smash a pumpkin? Yes, he will. He will smash a pumpkin. He'll smash a pumpkin before touching the center console. And it's not enough. He's a loser. He holds a fat L in this moment, ladies and gentlemen. And he, like a whiny little bitch, runs back to the portal. He's hoping he can come out and still get enough void energy to do something with his life. He doesn't know what he's doing. He still doesn't have enough energy. What is he even thinking right now? Oh, he does! And he makes it! Proving me to be the ultimate fool, Trevor Belmont, making some crazy plays as he grabs a crystal from the dark console. And another pumpkin smashed as killer and survivor alike continue to farm, wasting the time of all. Thank you for joining. I am going to go work on a generator. Please get me out of this limbo/hell. Here we go. You know, I could probably work on both. Let's leave this one. Do this one. For Belmont doing some historic plays. Smashing pumpkins for the speed boost. It takes him to the generator, and he's working on two at once. Can he farm enough void energy in order to lock in another crystal? And will that crystal be enough? Can he do 2 generators while a whole bunch of other fuckery is going on? While his teammates are running around in circles, playing and booping of snoots. And ladies and gentlemen, nobody loves a snoot boopage more than myself, but this has gone too far. The commission needs to step in. We need to call all of the authorities, ladies and gentlemen. Call all of them. Call all of the FBIs, the federal boob inspectors, because we've got a problem. Which one was that? Oh, that was scream but do nothing. I've got you. Ladies and gentlemen, Trevor Belmont going for the save on shirtless David King. He is a king not only in our hearts, but in our minds. And the head-on plays. We are truly farming at this point. There's no iteration in any way, shape, or form that makes this feel like a real game being played here. But I am going to continue commentary because I am getting paid hourly, ladies and gentlemen. All I have to do is fill the void of empty space, much like the void that exists in my dark, blackened heart. Another pumpkin destroyed by Trevor Belmont. He goes back to his original generator. He has almost enough void energy to get another crystal going. Does he lock it in? And he does. But he continues to work on the generator. It seems like he's making an executive decision just to finish this game and hopefully escape the hell that is playing with a farming killer. I would rather be dead right now, if I'm being completely honest with you. Words that I've not only said before, but written many times into my diary, ladies and gentlemen, and we finish another generator. The game moves on. David King with a head trap on his face. The trap is activated. Maybe you should just go and get that thing off of you. Trevor Belmont moving back towards the killer shack, where he will continue working on a generator he started earlier with a void crystal. Choosing not to go back into the void, wasting even more time grabbing crystals when he really just needs to finish this and hopefully go home. Which is all he truly wants at this point. You can tell by the stoic look on his face. Ladies and gentlemen, Trevor Belmont is done. He's cooked. Another successful skill check from Trevor Belmont, as his complete focus is on finishing this generator and opening this exit gate right behind him. Will David King make it? Will he find his shirt and the way to get off his trap? And he does. And he makes it. Trevor Belmont finishing his generator before V does, getting a little extra points for probably the most important player. He is the VIP of the game, in many's opinion. In fact, I'm already hearing word, yes, they are actually going to issue him an award. They're calling him the MVP of the year. This was the most difficult game anyone has ever recorded. And as such, Trevor Belmont is receiving the Heisman Trophy from the entity himself. And he chooses, will he wait in the game longer? Will he prolong his own suffering? Is he that much of a sadist, ladies and gentlemen? And no, he's done commiserating with shirtless Dave. Yeah, I think he's deciding to leave. I think he's deciding to leave, ladies and gentlemen. This was the most exciting spectacle of sport that I've ever witnessed in my life. We've seen traps being placed on heads. We've seen snoots being booped. We have seen lots of farming going on with head-on stuns that were broadcasted years ahead. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen some insane spectacles tonight. Doesn't even stay for the GGs, Trevor Belmont. He's moving right on into the next bracket as we continue a tournament wherein he is the only competitor. And he does not care. A look of stoicism on our hero's face as he prepares for another match, going in with a Will-o'-the-Wisp flashlight. He will show as many survivors his ghost as possible, ladies and gentlemen. And we have commentary in the chat here, people saying hello. Trevor Belmont also replying with another hello as well. You can see it on his face. In post-production, I will edit in his mouth moving. He will be singing the Weller Man. I actually just got him. I haven't been playing him for very long. I got adept with him on my first match, very luckily. And then I decided to level him up because I wanted to unlock, what's the one? Trev. The one that gives you an item. Yeah, this one. I wanted to unlock that one. So I'm trying to tier him up to P3 if possible. I have a bunch of survivors I need to unlock the perks of. I used to play all these people, so I have all of them. Yeah, I love the fact that it's Castlevania Dracula is huge to me, honestly. It makes me really happy. And the one I actually want is the Simon Belmont skin, but I feel like it will stand out. This is good for trolling, but it stands out pretty easy. I like the Leon one as well, but I really like the Trevor Belmont one. I wish you could mix and match pieces of those sets. Play on PS5. Do you feel like it's more visible when you play it? I feel like there's some maps that it would blend in really well. Like if you were on the Eyrie of Crows map, or there's another one that's kind of deserty, and I can't remember. Maybe it's just that one. If you were on like one of those sort of deserty maps, I feel like it camos pretty well. Not that I necessarily just care about it being, you know, camouflagey, but I feel like it definitely stands out on certain maps. And what kind of item loadouts do we have from our competitors? It is a gang of flashlighters. I would not be surprised if our killer is switching to Franklin's Demise right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'll say thank you, man. I appreciate that. The alert thing is super low. There we go. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. I'm trying to get back into streaming, especially Dead by Daylight. I've been playing it since beta a long time, and then I took a long break. But I'm getting back into it now. Missed it. I miss streaming it. It is the same standard loading screen, ladies and gentlemen, and our match has started. We are on Father Campbell's Chapel, the Crotus Printer Asylum, a map that has received a lot of criticism over the last few months and years. Definitely getting a rework in the not-too-distant future, if the devs can be believed, which I believe that they can in most cases. Trevor Belmont going straight for a pumpkin. It is his favorite thing to do on Halloween, is kicking pumpkins. Historically, we have seen this. He gives Marcus a nice little touch. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The most loved, beloved character in the Dead by Daylight lore. And do we have a serious killer? We do, as Artist spreading out her crows, hoping to catch some birds in the nest. But she does not. Fails to lock it in. Even a single. We do have some sort of perk in play. Is it a corrupt intervention? If so, it will disperse shortly. However, can we wait that long? For Belmont choosing not to bide out his time, doing a slow vault through a window, and yes, I do believe it is a corrupt intervention that we have. Detective Tapp showing his emotional support of Trevor Belmont as we begin working on a generator together. Togetherness is one of the key pillars of Dead by Daylight, as working together is the best way to die together, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and we have a flashlight save, ladies and gentlemen, or some kind of stun. Ace is still on the run, and Artist, oh my god, and Trevor Belmont is so distracted by the spectacle that he's witnessing that he chooses to fail a skill check on purpose, and definitely not by accident. We have a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Does the Artist notice him waiting in the wings, so to speak? Because she's a bird lady. And she stands in front of the generator. She is staring the generator down to speed up its deprogression. This is a strategy we've never seen before, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and a rubber band slings her back out the window as she is flung by Trevor Belmont's psychic powers. He is probably the most powerful psychic entity we have ever seen since that one episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And Trevor Belmont drops out the window with a slow vault, and so as not to give away his position. However, the Artist is hot on his tail, firing several crows into the distance, but none of them can... Oh, several of them connect, in fact. We have 2 connections, ladies and gentlemen. Trevor Belmont going for a crystal. If he cannot work a generator, the crystal will do it for him, ladies and gentlemen. We are moving into the middle of the game, ladies and gentlemen, as we have 0 generators, but 0 hooks as well. A real barn burner on our hands, but definitely more exciting than that last game. Ladies and gentlemen, I am just so glad to be free of a farming pig player. Ace greeting Trevor Belmont as they begin working on a recently popped generator. Does Ace know that? Probably not, but Trevor commits anyways. Artist firing in another direction, her attention clearly drawn in a different way, and Trevor Belmont and Ace Visconti easily getting into the last leg of this generator as it seems like it's about to be completed. Will the Artist come at the last moment and break us up? It seems like she will not, as the generator is finished. Ladies and gentlemen, that is probably 5 minutes in and our first generator done and not a single hook. Is this some kind of deep strategy that we have never seen before from the Artist? Is she some sort of sleeper agent, ladies and gentlemen? We have the pickup. Do we get the flashy? And we do! And we do, ladies and gentlemen. It is a wild night in the world of Dead by Daylight as the Artist rage quits. She's had enough. Trevor Belmont with the win right at the buzzer with 1 generator done and 0 hooks, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed history being made right here, ladies and gentlemen. Call the Guinness Book of World Records, because that is the angriest Artist I have ever seen since Pablo Picasso chopped his ear off. Ladies and gentlemen, what a wild roller coaster that was. Boys and girls, children of all ages. I would like to hand you off to a brief word from our sponsor while we wait for another match. I think of a fake ad. Yeah, Dracula is definitely Trevor Belmont's weakness. Definitely. When I play Dracula, I definitely target Trevor's first. That's for sure. It's only sensible. Only because I want to play lore accurate. As you can tell, I am a consummate professional. Home Spirit. Yeah. I let people live way too much as Killer. That's why it's hard to play Killer now, because I honestly played through some of the hardest days for Survivor. Survivor's a lot stronger, in a much better position now than when I stopped playing, which was right when Skull Merchant was released. Which, when she was new, it was like the most frustrating thing to go against. There was almost no counterplay. Even Krazu, who just released, which she's nuts, and the devs have confirmed that they are nerfing her. But at the same time, she's a little crazy, but it's not as bad as when Skull Merchant was first released, in my opinion. Alright, so we got his P1 done. Let's just fast use these, because there's no choice, really. Yeah. Yeah, it would be cool if he got extra perks, but I get why they do that now with the, you know, doing cosmetics that are separate licensed characters. Yeah, it's true. It would be nutty. Ladies and gentlemen, we go back into another match with many flashlights. Will we have another rage quit situation on our hands? One map wielder. Is she in cahoots with another character? Possibly all three console players on the same team. So presumably they are all in an Xbox Live party right now, probably calling each other the N-word. Ladies and gentlemen, we're moving into another match as Trevor Belmont readies up. Rebecca Chambers with a mat. Possibly with some good add-ons, possibly not. Who knows? Few of us can tell, if any. We have one flashlight from one of the other events. I think it's the Masquerade flashlight, possibly. We may or may not see any ghosties from that flashlight. However, Trevor Belmont bringing plenty of ghosts. Yeah, I love the lore of Castlevania. It's so good. It's almost like a lot of people were playing Legend of Zelda at that time. For me, it was Castlevania, and I love Legend of Zelda. Don't get me wrong, especially Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. But the Castlevania lore is so deep, and I love that. In fact, I'm so obsessed with well, I don't want to rip it off the wall, but I'm so obsessed with vampires and stuff that I had one of my exes, her brother is autistic, and I talked about Dracula to him one day for so long that on my birthday he drew a picture of me as Dracula from Castlevania. I would rip it off the wall, but I don't want to. Yeah, Simon's my favorite for sure. Simon's Quest was the first one I played, actually, and then I went back and played the first one. Ladies and gentlemen, we move into a map. It is the Badham Preschool. I didn't get a chance to look at which number it was, but I hate all of them categorically. So we are getting into another exciting game. Another beautiful night in Badham Preschool. The skies are a beautiful twilight red as we start running away from the scene of where we just were working on a gen. A little bit of haste, but we get a scream and nothing from Dramaturgy. And do we have an instant down, or did we miss an injury? Cannot tell. Is still not sure which killer we're talking about. And we have a Trickster. We have a Trickster, ladies and gentlemen, and there is a Ruin at play. Trevor Belmont deciding not to work on a generator and instead to find a totem, and I believe he has found one. He is waiting it out so that he can see if Trickster is coming. However, I believe he is, and he is. He's going to get on the totem. He's taking a huge risk here if there are possible undying at play, which would mean that now I am in fact cleansing the real totem is a possibility, or he is running many totems. Ladies and gentlemen, we will not know until we get a look at his build in the endgame. But we do know, and yes, he's finished another totem. That's 2 totems down. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 man still on a hook. It's getting close, but it looks like Trevor's just going to commit. He's going to run directly towards the hook. Does he get the save? It's going to be dicey, but it looks like, yes, the Trickster is chasing in another direction. So he has the safety to get the save, and he is healing Rebecca Chambers as we speak. Oh, did they disable the other ones? I didn't realize that. That's crazy. And Trevor Belmont finishing the heal on Rebecca Chambers as she goes off with her map, presumably to look for more totems, hopefully calling them out to the rest of her team. Trevor Belmont cursed to solo queue as he has no friends. Is the Trickster coming in this direction? Yes, he is. We have some daggers being thrown, but he crouches. Does he take the M1? No, he does not take the M1. He continues to take daggers to the back. It is not a healthy situation to be in, and that is going to be the first hook for Trevor Belmont, unless there is a flashlight save at play, and no, not quite. It was a valiant attempt and a beautiful display of friendship. However, the flashlight save is unsuccessful. Main event in play. Is somebody being chased, or is it a wild throw? And it seems to be a bit of a blunder, ladies and gentlemen. Trickster looking around for any sign of life, however, finding none. As there is a orgy of heel touching going on inside of the preschool. Would not be the first time, I reckon, ladies and gentlemen. And we do have, yes, I believe 2 survivors are coming at the exact same time. It would not be the first time Trevor has made that happen, and it will not be the last. And we have a down on the other side of the map over here, ladies and gentlemen. Which totem are we in? It is... Where's this totem? Right here. Go ahead. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We're in his terror radius. We're good. Yeah, he doesn't know. He has no idea. A stealthy play on the part of Trevor Belmont and Rebecca Chambers as she commits to the heal, and Trevor Belmont is back up to full health. Ooh, and Trevor Belmont tries to swap out his item for something better and ends up getting a key. He is running back for his ghost as he has yet to show his ghost to anybody in this lobby. He is dedicated to doing so, however. Will he show it to the killer here? He does not. It is a momentary distraction for the Trickster that amounts to basically nothing, ladies and gentlemen. As we have a flashlight coming in from one side, and that is the save, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody working on generators. Everyone just trolling the Trickster as much as humanly possible, ladies and gentlemen. And that is core memory. Dead by Daylight solo queue experience, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the event. And we have a Hex crowd control in play, ladies and gentlemen. Blocking the last few used vaults. Do we have a generator in here, or is it a single man? It is a single man, and it is unoccupied. Trevor Belmont going for the repair. on Badham Preschool, ladies and gentlemen. Yet to show his ghost to anybody. We have 2 survivors hiding in lockers. Oh, no, I'm seeing... We are getting some bad information due to the level of aura reading that we have, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies. Apologies to the ad reviews and to the commission for our poor sportscasting. We are working on solutions to these information errors. One day, maybe one day soon, we will... And Trevor Belmont gets into a locker, terrified that the killer will come into this building. Is the killer already in a chase? We do see the fingers, the skeletal fingers, and so Trevor Belmont comes out of the locker, and he's back on his solo gen. It is half completed. Will we see him completing another generator? Another man goes down. Second hook. And we see another man taking a protection hit. And a second protection hit. Dwight goes down. Is it enough? It's not. The hook happens anyway, ladies and gentlemen. What a sorry state of affairs for Dwight. Trevor Belmont committing to the generator. He refuses to leave while he is so close. Rebecca Chambers working on a totem. Nobody is going for these saves. But Trevor, he finishes his gen. Rebecca's finished a totem. We can only hope that somebody is going to get these saves in time, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 2-on, 2-off situation between the survivors and the hooks. Are we going to see... Yes, we have a terror radius. In which direction is it coming from? Are they chasing around the hook? It seems like they might be, as Trevor Belmont goes for the save. He's going to try and heal on hook, and it's a bold move, but no, Dwight, he holds shift key, but there is another chase going on. And Trevor, he's lost track of Dwight. Dwight is so good at stealth that we've even lost track of what's going on. And we get another flashlight save, ladies and gentlemen. Trevor Belmont hiding in the shadows, hoping he can pull off a crazy pallet save. Will it happen? It seems that Trickster... Oh, and he's coming. And it's too late. He's been spotted. No, he hasn't. As he gets the Dwight up off the ground and they start running. Ladies and gentlemen, an absolute spectacle of sports entertainment. Oh no! And the only person who is on Death Hook goes down. It is a bad state. Belmont making his move. Unwilling to let this go. He tries to go in and he doesn't make it in time. Oh, and it happens. And the hook goes down just in the nick of time. Trevor Belmont running into the basement, hoping to avoid capture from the Trickster. Is it enough? It seems the Trickster is committing to Rebecca Chambers. Will he get the save on Dwight? And he does. Is it a full heal? Another good skill check from Trevor Belmont. We need complete silence to let the players focus on the game. And will it be another full heal? It will not. It will not. Trevor starts hitting shift. He starts hitting shift very early. He's not willing to stay here long enough to see if the Trickster comes back to the scene of the crime. As he goes for the save, ladies and gentlemen. Is it ill-fated? Is this the end for Trevor Belmeezy? And Trevor Belmont goes down as Rebecca Chambers managed to make use of the time to get away And she does. And Trevor Belmont is going on hook, but he manages to get Rebecca Chambers off hook safely for once. What an exciting and spectacular spectacle we are witnessing. Sports entertainment has never seen a day such as this. The Haunted by Daylight event may be the best thing to ever happen to Dead by Daylight, people are saying. Definitely not an annoying secondary objective. Everybody loves it, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see by how often the event space has been used in this game, it is an absolute banger, ladies and gentlemen. And Rebecca Chambers in a bad place at a bad time, ladies and gentlemen. Trickster hot on her tail, and she goes down. Will it be a Mori? Will it be a Mori, ladies and gentlemen, to end the game? And everybody else leaves, turning into bots as they abandon ship. Trevor Belmont choosing to continue to make his checks and yet failing miserably. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all she wrote for Trevor Belmont. And it is 5:33 in the morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have to go to bed, ladies and gentlemen. But it was great meeting you all. Thank you for tuning in, and we will be sportscasting many DBD events in the future as we continue to follow the progress of one of the most beloved events in DBD history, ladies and gentlemen. You all have a great night. Signing off, this is the man in the can, the trash can man, Trash Can McGarbo, a.k.a. Trey Man Trash.